Hey friends, welcome back to my studio. I'm going to play with some more structure gel. I have a couple of videos that I've already done that with. I'll link those videos in this video's description. I'm going to paint on a 12-inch by 12-inch canvas from Michaels. I wrote the word love on it in chalk pastel. It's their level 3 canvases, which I like. 1.5 inch thick, gallery wrapped and spline. There's a little rubber gasket right in there. So here's one of the paintings. Can you see that? Oh, I always get so much glare. So the bigger flowers I painted with a spoon, which I really liked. So I want to do that again. So I'm going to paint spoon flowers. Oh, here. But I'm going to put it, I can link this photo in the video's description. I'm going to paint a picture vase to put them in. What else do I need to let you know? Oh, how about colors? I'm going to keep it pretty muted. I'm going to use Hooker's Green, Mars Black. Oh, Freckles just meowed. Did you hear Freckles? I think I might use a little burnt umber. I have it over here. Titanium White. She wants to jump up. I could see her. She's right below. She's right down there. And then I think I might put a little cad yellow or a muted yellow in the center of the flowers. I'm not totally sure. Okay, let's have some fun. So what am I thinking here? I'm thinking I want the background dark enough so that white flowers will show. So I think that's dark enough. I can always make it darker, come back and correct areas, but I think it's dark enough. I showed you that white vase. I'm actually going to paint it gray because if I have a white vase and white flowers, it won't show when it comes over the vase. So I'm going to paint the vase probably darker gray colors. What else? I just mixed like a teeny bit of burnt umber and titanium white. Oh, and I used a 1-inch, really inexpensive flat brush from Blick Art Materials. I really like these. They really take a beating. I could have used a bigger brush, but I wanted some of the brush strokes to show. What else? I wanted to use the burnt umber because as I'm videoing this, warm colors are coming back. Gray was in for such a long time. You know, gray walls, white woodwork, that kind of thing. Well, I think that's about it. The gray is just a little bit of black and quite a bit of titanium white. I'm going to let this dry, have some dinner, and then we'll work on the vase. Okay, let's chat for a sec. Here's my vase. It's white, so hopefully you can see it. But it's really quite simple. So I just found center. This is a 12-inch by 12-inch canvas. So I found where 6 inches was, and I marked the middle, and then I went 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches. I also used some chalk pastel when I did it. This is a white charcoal pencil. And then originally I drew it straight down and just had a square. And you could leave it like that. And then the other thing I did is this originally was straight up, and I just had another square. And then I brought this one up higher because it goes up higher in the photo, and then brought it down to the square. Does that make sense? These little T-squares are really handy here. My painting's a little wet, but you can see I've got it pretty straight. And then this goes up a little bit. And then this I just freehand in. And then I thinned out some gray paint and then added some highlights and some darks. Another nice thing you might like, that might fall, is I used a palette knife just to get some texture, and it picks up the texture of the canvas. You know, pull some darks up from there. So that's really nice. Give you a little closer look. I'm gonna put this someplace else so it doesn't fall down. There, you can see it a little closer. Isn't that fun? And I did paint the bottom. It's not quite as detailed. I think I'm gonna quit for tonight, and then we will, I'm gonna do it a little differently. I think I'm gonna put some big leaves in here, almost like it's a magnolia tree branch. That sounds too huge. But some bigger leaves. I don't know if it'd be magnolia flowers, maybe something else. And put those in, and maybe put in a couple of stems, and then we'll get going on the flowers. Okay guys, I'll be back tomorrow. Hey friends, I just wanted to pop in. I have Freckles on my lap. Here, she probably won't like it, but let's see if she'll say hi. Yeah, she won't even look up. We're gonna start the live here. So this next little bit will be time lapse, and that'll be the live, and I'll link to the live in this video description. I'm gonna glaze a little color on my picture. We'll put in some leaves, and if we have time, we'll start the structure gel flowers. Or I might kind of paint the flowers in to get a game plan, and then do the structure and the thickness last. Anyway, here's a quick look. It's just a simple vase. Okay guys, I'll see you over at the live, and then we'll come back here to finish the painting. Friends, that last little bit was alive. It's been, I'll just say 18 hours because it's lunchtime here now. I painted this last night, and it feels, the structure gel and titanium white combination feels pretty dry. It actually might be like a little wet inside there if I were to poke it in, but it's definitely surface dry. As I'm looking at it this morning, I might want to put some black under here, or make the leaves a little lighter. But I'm liking a lot of things. You can watch me in the live. I glaze a little bit of the picture and the handle. And then it was interesting because I usually take my time to figure out the design of the painting anyway. But then, you know, having the chat there, having Emily here, I think I was a little bit slower. But you can see how I basically sneak up on it. Give me a little look at the painting so far. In that, I figured out I wanted a big flower here, a pretty big flower here. I drew on it with some chalk pastel. Oh, where is it? I don't see it. I had a piece of chalk pastel. It probably fell sitting here. You can use a charcoal pencil too. Let's see. Let's talk about my color. Oh, so this is about half and half structured gel and titanium white. I use the basics because it's cheaper and the structured gel is so thick. You could use heavy body. You could use heavy body. You might not get quite this much. Oh, here, maybe I should show you a little bit of an angle. You might not get quite as much raised. Hopefully you can see that because I can barely see my phone. But you might. I mean, that's just a lot of paint. And then you go through a lot of paint and structured gel when you do something like that. So, and it says that this is glossy, which I can kind of see some shine. And that it's transparent or semi-transparent, but I really don't notice it when I add the titanium white to it. And you could add color to it. I might add a little color and add even more detail to this, because right now it's like really, really stark. But I gotta wait to see how the painting develops. I'll show you my other palette too, as long as we're at it. I used a 1/2 inch, a 3/8 inch flat brush to make my leaves. Just either went on the edge or went flat. And then my other palette, we already talked about the colors, so I don't know if I need to do this again. But I mixed some brown with my green. So Hooker's green, I mixed a little brown with it, mixed a little black with it, and just made kind of an olive color, a sagey color. And then sometimes I put straight up heavy yellow on a leaf, and it had a neat raised quality, but then now I see this morning that it's dried flat, but that's okay. All right, so I'm gonna work on this some more, and then I'll be back in a bit. I thought I'd pop in with just a couple of thoughts. So I dried it with a hair dryer for like 5 minutes, and it does help make it surface dry. Of course, this has also been, gosh, I don't know how much later since I hair dried it. And then I added this one, so it's not quite as stable. If I push on it, I can feel it give a little bit. These are actually doing a little better. The thinner ones dry faster, of course. I use this palette knife. Can you see that? It's kind of long and round. Keep moving around, maybe you can kind of see it. Excuse me. And just made these little side petals, side angle. And then this one, I loaded up the palette knife quite a bit and just squished the structure gel on. As I think I already mentioned, or maybe I just thought about it, you could add a little bit of color or a lot of color to these. I just kind of like the white, really catches the shadows. What I'm thinking now is I might mix a limier green. Here, let me grab my palette. Excuse me, guys. I always think my throat is fine and I start talking. I think I might take a little, I'm running out of room on my palette. I might want to start a new palette. A little hook, well, that's probably too much. hooker's green and some yellow and make a brighter lime green. I'm not sure what I want to do with it. Maybe even add a little white to it. I might put it down at the bottom. I'm thinking maybe brown centers. I haven't totally decided. Or I might take some yellow and some structure gel, and maybe I'll do that next and put in some littler flowers. Doesn't really matter, just kind of pick one and go. Okay, I thought if I popped in and let you know that I've dried it, and then I've dried these other flowers another 5 minutes for a second time. Yeah, I can feel it soft in there. It's gonna take a while to dry. Sometimes I've heard artists say it takes a week for acrylic paint to dry. If it's thin, I don't think so. I mean, unless you live in a very humid area. But definitely several days for that to be totally dried through. Although this, feels pretty solid. I'm afraid to push it too hard. Okay, guys, I'll be back in a bit. What do you guys think? The yellow, I really love the yellow. And the structure gel does say that it's transparent. I should have read this before I turned on the video. Transparency and structure without any added texture particles. So it is a little, I don't notice it at all in the white, but the white is an opaque color. The yellow is the yellow I'm using is a semi-transparent color, which makes a difference. I know that because, you can barely see it, but that box is half filled. I don't know if that's going to focus. But I don't mind it. So when I first put it on, these were stronger, and as the thinner parts are drying, it's getting more transparent. I really like the little yellow flowers. I added some black for a little bit of punch, some black blobs. They're just flat. What else? I ended up putting some yellow on here, and as it's drying, it's becoming more and more transparent. I wonder if these yellows are going to be completely transparent. Because like that one is. I wonder if I should let this dry and then come back. I tell you what, I'll come back if tomorrow morning I lose a lot of my yellow color. What else? It's really fun. I just kind of filled it all in. Like I drew a little stem here and then you don't really see it anymore. I have light brown or dark brown, medium brown, and lime green in the centers. Here, I'll just give you a tour. I think next time I need to try almost white flowers or something, or flowers with color. I don't know how close my phone will focus. Kind of turn it. The light catches it. I like how the light catches the white and makes shadows. Let's try it this way. Isn't that fun? So I'm going to try to just do a quick photograph with my phone in the studio. It's snowing outside, and then with the snow on the ground, it affects. So I normally photograph my paintings outside in the shade. But if there's no color bouncing like from the grass or the blue sky, that kind of stuff, everything's all white and gray, it's going to affect how my painting photographs. So I have to wait a while. This one's, I could scan it on my scanner, but this one's too big. This is a 12 by 12. Let me know if you give this a try. A couple people One person said in the live chat that they bought the same structure gel. There's other structure thickener things. I don't know. They might not be gels. You also have to read the can. I'm sure Golden has one. I just don't know what they call it. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for sharing your art journey with me. It's just so fun for me. Great big happy art hugs, and I hope to chat with you soon. Bye guys.